The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon when the call came in. In a heavily guarded operations center, monitors lit up with images of a remote, densely forested island in the Pacific. Reports of hostages, more than 20 businessmen, held by a group of heavily armed gunmen had reached the U.S. Marine Corps. Time was of the essence. Captain Jovani, known for his strategic brilliance and calm under pressure, was immediately tasked with leading the mission. With years of combat experience under his belt, this mission would test him once again. Across the briefing room, a familiar face caught his eye: Jasmin, the paramedic nurse who had earned the admiration of every Marine who served alongside her. With her soft brown eyes and serene beauty, she stood out. But it wasn't just her looks. She had spent over 2 years on active duty, and her ability to handle the most stressful situations with grace had made her an invaluable member of the team. They had never exchanged more than professional words before, but today would be different. Today, they were heading into battle together. As the helicopters prepared to take off, the tension was palpable. The hum of the rotors buzzed in the background, mixing with the scent of oil and the salty air of the open sea. Inside the helicopter, the Marines checked their weapons and gear, while Jasmin and her medical team went through their equipment meticulously. The soft green light illuminated their faces, casting a ghostly glow. Jasmin felt her heart race but kept her composure. This was what she had trained for. Beside her, Captain Jovani sat, his eyes locked forward, his mind already on the mission ahead. As they flew towards the island, Jovani and Jasmin exchanged a glance, a silent acknowledgement of the storm they were heading into. Neither of them knew it yet, but this mission would change their lives forever. The helicopter dropped them just beyond the tree line of the dense jungle. The sound of the rotors faded as the team moved swiftly and silently through the underbrush. Jovani led the way, his sharp instincts guiding his every move, while Jasmin followed closely, her medics carrying heavy packs of life-saving equipment. The first shots rang out as they neared the encampment, the crack of gunfire splitting the thick air. Captain Jovani barked orders, his voice steady and commanding despite the chaos erupting around them. His Marines responded instantly, laying down suppressive fire while inching closer to the hostages. Jasmin stayed in the rear, but even there, danger lurked. A bullet whizzed past her ear, lodging itself in the tree next to her. Without missing a beat, she dove to the ground, pulling a wounded Marine behind cover and quickly tending to his injuries. Her hands worked swiftly, wrapping the wound and administering morphine, all while keeping a calm demeanor. Jovani noticed her out of the corner of his eye. Even in the heat of battle, her focus and precision stood out. He admired her courage, how she never wavered, even with death all around them. The firefight intensified as they drew nearer to the heart of the encampment. The gunmen were heavily armed and well prepared, but the Marines were relentless. Jovani and his team moved like a well-oiled machine, clearing huts and securing pathways, pushing the enemy back inch by inch. Jasmin and her team followed, tending to the injured, ensuring no one was left behind. In a brief moment of respite, Jovani and Jasmin found themselves side by side behind a crumbling wall. Their eyes met, and for the first time, they shared more than just a professional look. In that moment, amidst the chaos, there was an unspoken connection, a bond born from shared danger. Suddenly, a burst of gunfire broke the moment. Jovani sprang into action, pulling Jasmin back as the wall exploded in a shower of bullets. They pressed close against the earth, hearts pounding, but alive. Hours passed before the final stronghold was breached. The Marines, though battered and bruised, had managed to overcome the enemy. The hostages, terrified and weak from days of captivity, were finally free. Jasmin and her medics sprang into action, providing immediate care to the hostages. Wounds were treated, dehydration was addressed, and reassurances were whispered to men who had thought they would never see their families again. Jasmin's hands moved from patient to patient, her voice calm and soothing despite the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Captain Jovani watched from a distance, observing how she managed to bring peace to a chaotic situation. He had always seen himself as the protector, but watching her, he realized that she, too, was a protector in her own way. As the last of the hostages were prepared for evacuation, Jovani approached Jasmin, offering her a canteen of water. For the first time, they spoke more than just tactical briefings. It was a brief exchange, filled with tired smiles and mutual respect. The mission had been a success. But more than that, something had shifted between them. Back at the base, life resumed its usual rhythm, but for Jovani and Jasmin, something had changed. Mission after mission, they found themselves working together more closely. Their professional respect deepened into friendship, and then something more. Between assignments, they shared quiet conversations about their lives before the Corps, about their dreams for the future. Jovani, always the stoic leader, found himself opening up to Jasmin in ways he never had with anyone before. Jasmin, always focused on others, found herself drawn to Jovani's quiet strength and his fierce sense of duty. In the chaos of their lives, they had found something rare, someone who understood the weight of responsibility, the fear of losing those they cared about, and the determination to keep fighting, no matter the cost. The missions grew more dangerous, the stakes higher with each passing day. But through it all, Jovani and Jasmin faced the challenges together. Whether in the heat of battle or in the quiet moments afterward, they found solace in each other. There was one mission in particular that cemented their bond, a mission that nearly cost them everything. It was a routine extraction, or so they thought, but the enemy had been waiting for them. In ambush, the firefight was brutal, and for a moment, it seemed like they might not make it out. Jasmin had been tending to a Marine when a grenade landed nearby. Without thinking, Jovani threw himself over her, shielding her from the blast. When the smoke cleared, they were both alive, but only just. Jasmin's hands trembled as she tended to Jovani's wounds, the reality of nearly losing him crashing down around her. It was then that they both realized how much they meant to each other. In that moment, they stopped pretending that their connection was only professional. Life was too short and too dangerous to hold back. From that day forward, their relationship blossomed. It wasn't the typical romance. They lived in a world where every day could be their last, where missions and duty came before everything. But in each other, they found the strength to keep going. Their love grew quietly, in stolen moments between missions and whispered conversations under the stars. Jovani, the fierce Marine leader, and Jasmin, the compassionate paramedic, had found in each other a partner, a confidant, and a love that could weather any storm. Together, they continued to serve their country, knowing that no matter how dangerous the mission, they would always have each other to come home to. Please tap that subscribe button to help my YouTube channel grow, and please like and share to your family and friends.